making some noise now for this matchup between the second-ranked and third-ranked teams in the land. Taking a look at the starting lineups, brought to you by Pert Plus. First of all, for Old Dominion, Tisha Pinachero, folks, she is an exciting player to watch. Aubrey Evelyn, Natalie Diaz. Mary Andrade has really stepped up her play this year, averaging better than 15 points. And Nairi Roberts, the big 6'3" senior inside for Old Dominion. For Connecticut, Rita Williams, Amy Duran, Nikisha Sales, the senior, and Svetlana Abrasimova, who has been in the starting lineup for the last 5 games. And in the last 6 games, she's averaging 14.5 points. And Paige Sauer, the 6'5" sophomore center for Gino Auriemma. Wendy Larry in her 11th year at Old Dominion, and in recent years has really brought this program back to national prominence. See, last year, 34-2, losing in the finals to Tennessee, an exciting final that you saw here on ESPN. And who knows what's going to happen here this season. And for Gino Auriemma, the team of the decade, they had this decade, they had the best overall record the last 4 years, including a 95 national championship in which they went 35-0. What's that serious face he's got going on right now?
Enough of it to chat, Robin. Let's play.
Let's play. Nikisha Sales controlling the tip for Connecticut. Rita Williams looking inside, but gives it out to Abrasimova.
You can see Old Dominion in the man-to-man defense starting out.
Paige Sauer looking inside. Mishandled by Rita Williams, but runs it down. Good pass to Paige Sauer from Rita Williams.
Rita Williams has really blossomed into a very effective point guard.
She is also a senior, one of the co-captains for Connecticut. Inside to Nairi Roberts, who gives it up to Mary Andrade.
Good sign for Old Dominion. They're a team that really not only likes to run, but has to run to be effective. So for them to be able to score in the half court right away is a good sign for them.
Nikisha Sales with a miss down low. Tisha Pinachero driving. She doesn't look to score often, but when she does, watch out.
And that's one of the things that Coach Wendy Larry has asked her to do, is to look more for her own shot. She averages about 10 points a game, which is the same as last year. Coach Larry would like to see about 14, 15 points out of her.
Nikisha Sales with a turnover to ODU. Natalie Diaz doesn't have the numbers, puts it up anyway. Abrasimova the rebound.
Probably not a smart move by Diaz to take that when it was a 2-on-4.
Sauer doing a good job of running the floor, but with the miss to Diaz.
And again, not a good shot by Paige Sauer either. This tempo definitely favors Old Dominion. Connecticut is a team that, again, likes to run. As a matter of fact, Gino Auriemma stressed yesterday in practice that he wants them to run as much as they can during this game. He wants a game in the 80s, Robin.
First whistle of the game. Nikisha Sales called for her first foul.
One of the things that Coach Larry with Old Dominion saw when scouting that Tennessee game was that the physicalness and the pressure that Tennessee put on Connecticut really affected them. And that's why they've come out in this player-to-player defense to start and really put a lot of pressure.
Sales gets it tied up, and actually it was Rita Williams and not Sales who committed the foul. Possession arrow in favor of Old Dominion, and you can see she's already up. And
is it hot in here, or is Gino just excited about this game?
The turnover, and again scrambling. Abrasimova and Tisha Pinachero, and it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Old Dominion's ball.
Connecticut actually had a very good practice yesterday. Gino was very positive with the team. They ran the drills crisply and did what was expected of them. And you don't often see that at the Connecticut practice before a game. Not that they don't do well, it's just Gino is normally a lot more vocal with them.
Down is Amy Duran, who stays in control. The pass from Abrasimova.
We mentioned that this is a Connecticut team that does like to run. As a matter of fact, it helps them get into their offensive flow when they can get a couple transition buckets early. Now look at how Paige Sauer is really playing off of Roberts.
Daring her, almost. Diaz has it blocked and fouled by Nikisha Sales. Picks up the first one there.
neither team can really afford to have foul trouble. These two teams are very effective with their starting five, but they don't go that deep, Robin. So for Connecticut in particular, Rita Williams has to stay in the game. She averages over 30 minutes a game. And for Old Dominion, same thing with Tisha Penashero and Nairi Roberts. You can see Connecticut in the way they fill the lanes. They talked yesterday a lot about spacing, especially in their fast break.
Diaz misses the first of two. 54% free throw shooter.
Replacing Aubrey Emily.
She had a strong Final Four. In fact, had a career-high 10 points against Stanford in the semifinals of the Final Four. Misses them both to Abrasimova.
Free throw shooting has not been one of Old Dominion's strong points. They only average 63% from the line.
The deflection, it'll be ODU's ball. Amber Eller-Paul coming in also for Old Dominion, getting her first action in the game.
Excuse me, Robin. The kind of pressure that Old Dominion exerts on you forces you to rush. It's okay if you hurry, if you do things quickly, but you don't want to rush in your offense.
Andrade getting loose, back out to Penashero. Nairi Roberts trying to work over Sauer. Gets it to Natalie Diaz. Blocked both by Abrasimova and Duran. Ahead to Nikisha Sales. All alone. Good hands, though, by Tisha Penashero. What happened? Amy Duran having a tough time handling the inbounds pass from Sales.
Old Dominion worked on a couple of different defenses yesterday. This player-to-player defense was one of them, but we also will probably see a 3-2 matchup sometime in the game.
The steal by Rita Williams, but it's stolen back by Natalie Diaz.
You notice how the passing right now of Connecticut, when they have the opportunity, they're forcing things a little bit and again rushing their passes. That's what that pressure does to you. They just need to settle a little bit, take the extra half second to make the good pass.
4 turnovers by Connecticut. Diaz left alone. Knocks down the 3.
That's unusual for Old Dominion. As a matter of fact, Connecticut talked about sloughing off at Diaz because she's not known for her perimeter scoring.
A 3-point advantage for Old Dominion. Abrasimova. That's one of the reasons why she is in the starting lineup now for Connecticut. She can make things happen offensively.
The offensive chemistry for Connecticut is also better with Abrasimova in the starting lineup.
Nairi Roberts, too hard. Andrade the miss. Paige Sauer battling for it, and she's fouled.
Very fundamental play there by Paige Sauer. She was smart at 6'5". She's the tallest player on the floor right now. She kept the ball over her head and created the foul situation.
Old Dominion with a 1-point lead early on. Come on back, everyone.
The Division of Athletics would like to extend a warm welcome to all of the employees and guests of the
In this country. This 4th time that we've brought you this special game.
Old Dominion substitution now in the lineup, number 30, Latoya Small.
Latoya Small coming in for Old Dominion as she guards Amy Duran. Nikisha Sales being guarded by Tisha Penashero.
And so far, the player-to-player defense effective, so Old Dominion staying with it.
Paige Sauer looking inside. Somehow Amy Duran gets it.
I don't think Sauer gets the assist for that. I think it was an Old Dominion player that just knocked it out.
It counts nonetheless, and Nairi Roberts doing a good job of running the floor for the Lady Monarchs.
Nairi Roberts.
Can't celebrate during this game.
And good transition defense so far by Old Dominion as well, preventing any fast break opportunities off of the made shot by Connecticut.
Almost a steal. The 5th turnover now by Connecticut.
Connecticut's offense just not fluid yet, Robin. Gino told us yesterday that if they stand around and they don't move in this offense, it makes them very easy to guard. However, if they do, if they would move the way they should, move the ball the way they should, they're almost impossible to guard in that offense.
So far, 4 of 6 from the floor. Again, they lead the nation in field goal percentage. Penashero is fouled, going to the basket, and she's fouled by Williams. Latoya Small seems to be injured. Doesn't appear to be serious, though.
Connecticut foul number 23, Rita Williams. Her second personal foul.
And so Tisha Pinachero will go to the line as Williams picks up her second foul. As you were alluding to earlier, they cannot afford, Connecticut cannot afford for Rita Williams to get into foul trouble.
She leads the team in minutes played, and she is definitely their floor general. They do not have a backup point guard. What happens is Nikisha Sales ends up in the point position, and that really takes her out of a position to score.
Stacey Hansmeyer coming in, the team's leading rebounder, replacing Williams. One of two for Pinachero. A 2-point lead for ODU.
I think one of the areas that Old Dominion really needs to work on if they're to be effective in their goal for a national championship is their free throw shooting.
Rita Williams does not agree with the turnover. Stacey Hansmeyer coming back in, and Paige Sauer getting a nice round of applause as she takes her first break. See the Connecticut's, and I should say turnovers. 7 for Old Dominion, 5 for Connecticut.
And Gino told us yesterday he would like to see his team with 15 or less turnovers. He feels like they could win and win big if they were able to keep it under that number.
Pinachero in the open court, so dangerous, gives it off to Andrade. And she's going to be called for the offensive foul.
One of the problems with having to handle Tisha Pinachero's passes, you have to always be aware. So as a result, you've got to be watching her. You don't necessarily see your defense setting up. As Andrade comes down, you can see she knows she's going to get that pass. And Hansmeyer with a great position, maintaining it, creating the offensive charge.
Andrade's second foul. And Tisha Pinachero with a steal off of Sales.
Nobody's running with her, however. So it's a 1-on-5 at that point.
Along the baseline, trying to give it up. Mad scramble. Ahead to Abrasimova, who is fouled by Diaz.
And you can see the pressure that Connecticut is putting on. They're really doing a great job of shutting down the inside game of Roberts. Andrade trying to open things up from the baseline, but look at the heads-up play by Sales. And then Rita Williams to see Abrasimova down the court. Natalie Diaz trying to desperately catch up. She wasn't in any position. She is getting the 2 shots.
Just the first foul on Diaz. As Abrasimova makes the first of 2. 66% free throw shooter. Makes them both. Paige Sauer, just a quick break for her. She's back in. Amy Duran going out.
Both coaches really shuffling their players in and out. The same players, the same 6 or 7 players, but doing a nice job of giving them each a rest.
Some pressure in the backcourt by Connecticut, but ODU breaks it easily. Diaz, the spin move and the miss.
And that's not really the shot that you want to see Natalie Diaz take in a situation like that. What she could have done is hit the trailer as they're coming down, because the defense had really collapsed underneath the basket.
Remains ODU's ball.
Yep, right here. My ball.
See the general, Pinachero, directing her troops. Inside to Andrade.
And I think that's the way that Old Dominion's going to have to open up the inside, is use Andrade more underneath, because then the defense will focus on her. That will open up Roberts.
Good hands there by Pinachero, but Nikisha Sales comes away with it. The miss to Abrasimova. Paige Sauer knocks it out. Stacey Hansmeyer says, I'll take it. And she's fouled.
Credit Paige Sauer on that play, because she was smart enough to realize she could not get both hands on that ball to control it. She knew her teammates were out further, and she was able to tip it away to keep it alive for her team. As Sales goes up. Now look at Paige Sauer after this shot goes up. She knows she's got some heat on, so she passes it out with the flick to Stacey Hansmeyer.
Nairi Roberts was called for her first foul. Hansmeyer missing the first of two. She's a 52% free throw shooter.
Robin, I talked about Nyree Roberts being very strong in the open, and she really hasn't exhibited that yet. She averages 13 rebounds a game, and she has not been a dominant force at this point in the game.
Amy Duran coming in for Rita Williams for Connecticut. Hansmeyer makes one of two.
Again, the pressure by Connecticut. Anytime a team throws pressure on you, you should look at it as an opportunity to have a quick bucket like that.
Like that, like Diaz quickly scoring for the Lady Monarchs. Puts them up by one. Duran inside to Abrasimova, who does a good job of getting three down low.
The last few possessions, Connecticut has done a nice job with their offensive execution, both with body movement and ball movement.
Again, Connecticut applying the pressure, but the Lady Monarchs break it with ease. The 10th lead change of this game. Connecticut by one. Diaz isn't shy about shooting. The miss to Abrasimova. Sails ahead to Duran. Connecticut running the floor so well. And Wendy Larry decides to take a 20-second timeout.
Robin, we talked about, Connecticut rather, being a very good passing team. Yesterday in practice, they spent, in a 2-hour practice, they spent over an hour on passing, catching, cutting, and moving drills. They went full court and ran. They see each other so well because they spent a lot of time on it, Robin. I think passing and catching, as simple as that sounds, is a lost art, and Connecticut focuses on it, and that's why their offensive execution is so good.
As simple as it sounds, but still, in the heat of a game, cannot be so easy sometimes. You know, suddenly I'm feeling hip. I'm feeling now. I'm feeling,
too,
wow.
Robin.
Oh, the Winter X game.
Come on.
Those of us in the know just call it Winter X. Following us after the game from Crested Butte, Colorado, events include snowboarding, ice climbing, snow mountain bike racing, ski boarding, Skier X, Border X. It's exciting to watch. So watch the Winter X
what
game.
do those of us not in the know call it? Don't answer.
I won't. Diaz, the quick basket for the Lady Monarchs.
Natalie Diaz only averages 5 shots a game. She's had that already this half, I think, anyway.
Easily. Inside to Hansmeyer. Out to Paige Sauer, who's not shy about taking a three. Abrasimova's there for the putback.
I'll tell you, the other thing Connecticut's doing very well at this point in the game is offensive rebounding.
And Connecticut has out-rebounded its opponents 12 times already this season. Stacey Hansmeyer taking a well-deserved break. And Kelly Hunt coming in her place. And Wendy Larry wants to talk with her team. They're down by 3.
Section 123. Marion Royce.
Hartford Civic Center. Robin Roberts and Mimi Griffin here with you on Martin Luther King Day. And you can see Nikisha Sales. She's right now scoreless in this game, but still, Abrasimova has been the difference in the starting lineup for Connecticut.
And she has really added to the chemistry of their offense. Gina Auriemma really agonized over that lineup change with pulling Stacey Hansmeyer, but it has worked to their benefit, especially on the offensive end.
Evelyn inside to Nyree Roberts, who draws the foul on Paige Sauer.
And Gina Auriemma going nuts on the sideline. I'll tell you what, Paige Sauer has done an outstanding job so far this game of shutting down Nyree Roberts. She really has the one move. When she's on the left side, she moves to the baseline because she is left-handed and she wants to power it up. Now watch, you saw the way Paige Sauer just took away that baseline. Because Roberts is so strong, she's able to draw the foul situation. It looks like that's what they talked about in that timeout.
Roberts misses the first of 2. It's just Sauer's first foul.
Nyree Roberts only shooting 52% from the line. With a player that has the opportunity to go to the line as much as she does, that's going to be an Achilles heel later if that doesn't improve.
Amber Eller-Paul coming back in, replacing Aubrey Eblin. Abrasimova. Again, so offensive-minded.
She's so refined offensively, too, Robin, and that's what you see with a lot of international players. Their offensive game is so fluid and so creative. You find a lot of coaches that recruit international players like Wendy Larry, Gina Auriemma, Florida International Cindy Russo, you have to let go a little bit of the organization and the strict offensive sets and let them go.
Nairi Roberts down low. It's got to be hard for a coach to do sometimes.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Just let him go.
Wendy Larry said she really struggled with it when Tisha Penashero first came in.
Diaz the steal. Penashero somehow gets through 2 players.
Very wise in holding it up. It was a 1-on-4 situation. Here it goes to the left side once again. Paige Sauer moving her feet.
Diaz off glass.
Natalie Diaz, the star of this game so far for Old Dominion. And it's nice. It's a nice sign for Coach Wendy Larry that a Diaz will step up and be so offensive-minded when it's needed.
She has 9 first-half points.
And she only averages a little over 6.
Another turnover. That's the 10th. Old Dominion forces 26 a game. Andrade, too hard, but Nairi Roberts is there for the putback. Again, too hard to Paige Sauer.
Nairi Roberts getting a little bit frustrated. Tisha Penashero really needs to take that shot from the perimeter when she has it.
Basket does not count. And Natalie Diaz is going to be called for blocking the foul.
The pace of this game, Robin, is brutal. Not just in terms of the transition, but also the physicalness in the half court. And you can see that the foul occurred there. It was before the shot, unless you want to give a continuation.
Wrong league.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Substitutions, Duran going out, Kelly Hunt going out, Diaz going out.
And you can see the exhaustion. We talked about the pace of this game. Natalie Diaz doing a lot more offensively than she's normally called upon to do.
But also a little bit of nerves in a big game like this. It kind of takes a little out of you.
Oh, absolutely. I had the opportunity to fly up yesterday with the Old Dominion team.
As Rita Williams makes 2 from the baseline.
And she's been a bonus offensively for Connecticut this year. But I sat next to Natalie Diaz on the plane, and she talked about the butterflies that she feels all the time. She says she tries to sing Amazing Grace in her mind. I said, how come you don't sing it out loud? She goes, well, if you heard me sing, you'd understand.
The turnover by Latoya Small. It's going to be Connecticut's ball. So you sat next to her on the flight.
And we sang Amazing Grace in our minds. No, you know, she said she can tell she's nervous when she can't get past one verse.
Whatever it takes. Connecticut, the 2-point lead. Abrasimova has it taken. Mary Andrade from the top of the key knocks it down.
That's what Old Dominion has to look for, is more of the perimeter scoring, the quick hits when it's available. Andrade can do that. Tisha Penashero can do it. She just doesn't look for it. Amber Paul can do it.
Andrade has 8 now.
Eller Paul, rather. Amber Eller Paul. She was married this summer.
On the baseline, Lakeisha Sales is on the baseline. It's going to be ODU's ball. So again, Lakeisha Sales a little bit out of sync here in the first half. Substitutions again with Abrasimova going out. Jessica Williams coming in for Old Dominion. She's playing the same high school as Michael Jordan in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wonder if the same fate awaits her.
She's got her numbers backward.
Yeah,
32, 23.
Got to create your own identity, Rob.
To Nairi Roberts, too hard. It's Connecticut's ball.
Although that didn't work, that's what Old Dominion needs to do, is get the ball moving, make the defense work a little bit. You're not going to stand still and try to pound the ball into Nairi Roberts with the good defense that Connecticut is throwing at her.
We approach the 4-minute mark, tied at 27 all. Duran off the mark. Latoya Small gets it to Williams. A mad scramble, and Williams knocks it out of bounds. It's going to be Lady Monarchs ball. And so with less than 4 minutes to go until the half, Mary Andrade feeling good, and why not? Her team is tied with Connecticut. To the Hartford Civic Center, Old Dominion and Connecticut tied at 27 all just before halftime. And at the half, not a lot from Lakeisha Sales. She's 0 for 4 from the line and scoreless in this game.
Old Dominion obviously keying on her and doing a lot of trapping in their half-court defense.
She averages almost 22 points a game. But the good news is her team is tied. So without Sales being involved in the offense, they're still in this game.
And that's the thing, Robin, is that you're seeing a lot of different players for each of these teams step up and be what the team needs at this point. Now, Latoya Small, for one, with the penetration, take the focus off of Roberts. Obviously, that's where they're focusing defensively. It certainly opens things up for other players. Kelly Hunt, for instance, who's in the game right now, she kept telling me she's got a secret weapon from the elbow. Let's see if she uses it today.
Jessica Williams, good hustle by her, but it remains Connecticut's ball. Secret weapon.
Secret weapon. I didn't have one of those when I played.
You got to have elbows.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelly Hunt, Sabrina Williams right there.
Pressure has increased in this half-court defense.
8 seconds on the shot clock.
And so has the banging.
Latoya Small hitting Hunt from behind. And Latoya Small will be called for the foul. Just her first. Brasimova coming back in, the leading scorer for Connecticut right now with 10 points and also has 6 rebounds as Nikisha Sales takes a seat. Stacey Hansmeyer coming back in as well for Hunt.
Again, both coaches recognizing that the pace of this game is just brutal on these players.
But we're seeing the same players.
The same players, the same 7 players come in and out, but at least they're getting some kind of break.
Eller Paul coming in for Old Dominion, and a great cut there by Rita Williams. Good inbounds play by Connecticut.
You know, you can scout all you want, but when you have execution,
wow,
as well as Connecticut does, it's just almost impossible to stop sometimes.
That's textbook stuff.
That is. I remember Jody Conrad in the mid to late 80s when they had their great teams at Texas. She used to invite coaches all the time to come down and talk X's and O's because she said, look, I don't care who knows what we do. It's our job to execute. It's no secret what we're doing.
Nairi Roberts called for the foul down low, going for the rebound. That's her second. Saw a little frustration there by Old Dominion all the way around on that possession.
Absolutely, and this is where teamwork comes in, where her teammates, and I'm going to target Mary Andrade, who is not on the floor right now, Tisha Penashero. They have got to be more aggressive offensively.
A bonus situation for Connecticut, so Paige Sauer will go to the line. A 64% free throw shooter. Mary Andrade looking on for ODU. Paige Sauer on cue.
And let's watch for her offensively and see what she does to spark this team.
Coming in for Jessica Williams.
Replacing Jessica Williams.
Both teams have had a nice balance of transition buckets, but also having to play in the half court.
Roberts off the miss. Quick hands by Brasimova, but it's going to remain ODU's ball.
I'll tell you, that young lady's court sense, as only a freshman, and she's 17, although she prefers that we say 17 and a half. She is only 17 years old, but that kind of court sense is not something that you teach, Robin. She's got a great future ahead of her.
Yes, she does. Amora Kinnan, 6'5" junior, coming in for Old Dominion, replacing Nairi Roberts, number 24. Tisha Penashero has it stolen by Hansmeyer. She's shaking up a little bit. It's taking her time to recover. Amy Duran is going to be called for traveling.
At this point in the game, Connecticut taking far less three-pointers than normal. They've only taken 2 so far in the game. They're averaging 14, which is 5 more than last year. Look at the pressure that Connecticut is throwing. One of the old adages is you press a pressing team. Now, you don't bowl them over like Stacey Hansmeyer did, but you do try to throw some pressure at a pressing team because they often can't handle it.
That's right. Nairi Roberts back in quickly for Old Dominion.
Well, they figured if they're going to start duking it out, they're one of the strongest players in there.
Diaz off glass.
Boy, Natalie Diaz has taken 9 shots so far in this half. She averages 5 shots a game.
She keeps making them like that. Wendy Larry's going to say, keep shooting.
I'm going to sit next to her on the plane again. Maybe some of it will rub off.
If you have anything to do with it.
I mean for me when I play.
And you can see Stacey Hansmeyer in obvious pain, clutching her foot, her ankle. And she's a tough cookie, so you know it has to be painful as Gino Auriemma makes his way across the court.
Any injury is is obviously serious for any team, but Stacey Hansmeyer, as one of the key post players on this Connecticut team, is critical to their success.
Well, it certainly got quiet in a hurry at the Hartford Civic Center. Shea Ralph knows about injuries oh too well. 2 ACL injuries. The same knee. Again, she was activated this week. Alicia Blake, the head athletic trainer.
Along with Chris Daly, the associate head coach for Connecticut, and obviously Gino Auriemma.
She's on her feet, walking gingerly across.
Well, you know, Robin, when on those ankle injuries, especially when you first turn that, the pain is excruciating.
Just see her saying, oh, it's okay, I'm all right. Just trying to walk it off.
Alicia Blake will evaluate the seriousness of that ankle injury and then see if they can't do something to secure the ankle if possible.
I'll tell you what, certified athletic trainers do not get enough credit for all that they do. Alicia Blake being one of them. ODU by 1 under 2 until halftime. Away from the ball, the call. And it's going to be called on Amber Eller-Paul. Tisha Pinachero wants to talk to Sally Bell and find out exactly what happened.
Trying to set a blind pick, and Amber Eller-Paul, it seemed like she gave her enough room. She had a step. Setting the blind pick, you just give them the step to recognize. And Wendy Larry.
That says it all.
Yeah, don't even say anything.
You don't need any subtitles with that. So Nikisha Sales, who has yet to score in this game, will go to the line, a 75% free throw shooter. That's when you know you're having a bad game, when you're Nikisha Sales, 75% and you can't make a free throw. Roberts has it taken by Abrasimova. Again, good defense by Paige Sauer.
Great defense by Paige Sauer. Only a sophomore going up against the senior. Doing a nice job of taking away Roberts' strength.
Quick hands by Diaz. And tackles Amy Duran. And so Duran will go to the line, but the speed of Diaz, and Amy Duran admits, I'm not the fastest player on the court. And if she got there a little bit faster, she would have gotten the ball without any problems. But you can see here, well, this is your job, Mimi. What am I doing?
It's okay, Rob. We're all in this together. But you saw Amy Duran. She was just casually moving towards that pass to begin with. They stressed very much yesterday the crisp, clean cuts to the ball. And there, Amy Duran was really just waiting for the ball to come to her instead.
Diaz has to take a seat with 3 fouls as Duran makes the first of 2. And Diaz with 11 first-half points for Old Dominion, so they don't want her on the bench for long, but sure we won't see her again here in the first half with 3 fouls.
Duran, an outstanding free throw shooter. She's averaging 100% from the line.
That was her first miss.
That was her first miss.
You had to do it, didn't you?
Well, you know.
Had to bring it up. Her first miss of the year.
24-25 now.
Latoya Small from the baseline too hard to Abrasimova.
You can see Old Dominion not using one another, not working as a team offensively.
Quick hands by Abrati, but Sales runs it down. Hits her first basket. She was not going to be denied here in the first half.
I'll tell you, in pregame warm-up, she was nailing them left and right, Robin. She had a great stroke going. She just hasn't had the opportunity to have an open shot like that yet this game.
Well, did you hear the crowd after she hit that basket? I guess they knew, too, that she was being shut out. Under a minute to go. Nigel Roberts down low to miss to Sales. A 2-point advantage for Connecticut. They can build on it before the half.
Well, you just knew that was going to happen once the lid came off.
Look at that first one.
I think it's the first time we've seen her smile all day, too.
And a 4-point advantage as we near the half.
Important now for Old Dominion to really get their offensive execution going to take this crowd out of it.
The deflection by Rita Williams. It will be ODU's ball with 9.9 seconds until halftime.
it would go a long way. And here comes Aubrey Evelyn, the three-point shooting specialist. Watch for her to jack it up beyond the arc.
A 20-second timeout being called by Connecticut.
I think that Gino Auriemma wants his team to understand that Evelyn is in there. That would go a long way to, number one, taking the crowd out of the game and giving Old Dominion momentum going into the locker room if they were to nail a three.
And she can nail a three, remember last year.
Oh, how about that shot at halftime of that Tennessee game?
Reminder that ESPN News coming up after the half. Our good friends will let you know what's going on about the Celtics and Knicks and the Australian Open. And we have a Rebecca Lobo signing. And she's waving. She's not waving at you. She's waving at me.
No, she's waving at me.
And we will talk with her, Rebecca Lobo, in the second half. A big fan also.
And Megan Pattison, another player from that
Connecticut
1991 Final Four team.
Knocked out. Tisha Pinachero gets it off and knocks it down. Oh! Not the person we thought who would take the last-second shot, but it counts nonetheless.
Aubrey Evelyn gets knocked down, and Tisha Pinachero knocks it down.
Oh, very good, my friend. A fantastic first half here at the Hartford Civic Center, with the Huskies leading 35-33. Come back for the second half, and right after this, ESPN News. Connecticut leads ODU by 2, and taking a look at the first half stats presented by Nike. You talked about the offensive execution for Connecticut, Mimi. There you see 65%.
As usual, they're shooting very well from the floor. The one thing I'll point out are the 14 rebounds. Gino Auriemma told us yesterday. Turnovers. He wanted 15. They're going to have to take real good care of the basketball in this second half to get only one.
Rebecca Lobo joins us, a woman who needs no introduction, especially in this kind of crowd. Of course, she led Connecticut in 1995 to an undefeated season and a national championship. Now plays for the WNBA New York Liberty, and also hangs out with us during the NCAA tournament.
That's more important.
What do you think about the first half?
Oh, great first half. I'm really impressed with both teams. Of course, I've seen UConn play all year, but Old Dominion has a great squad out there.
It's a matchup many wanted to see last year when they were 1 and 2, but even though they've lost key players, the mark of a good program still being in the top of the polls.
Any surprises from this first half that you've seen, Rebecca?
Just the fact that Nikisha Sales has been shut down a little bit offensively until the end of that first half, and Diaz looking great, like you said, for Old Dominion.
Yeah, how about Paige Sauer and the defensive job she has done on Nyree Roberts?
Paige has done a great job keeping her hands straight up in the air, not getting into foul trouble, and this is probably one of the better games she's played all season.
Amy Duran from outside, off the mark. Someone anoint you. You're the coach. What do you say if you're Wendy Larry and you're down by 2, facing in this kind of crowd, in this hostile environment? As Nyree Roberts scores and is fouled.
Old Dominion has actually gone to a number of hostile environments this year, Robin, so they're used to this. They went to Texas Tech, were down by 18 in the second half and ended up coming back and winning by 3. Nyree Roberts trying to get on track here in the second half, doing her best to create some openings for herself.
Misses, but Mary Andrade in a battle with Abrasimova wins it. And Pinachero comes away hobbling. Andrade somehow, did you teach her that, Rebecca?
I have no idea how that went in. That rolled in over the bottom of the rim. I'm not that talented, right, Mimi?
Not that smooth, Rebecca, not that smooth.
Thank
Talent.
you,
Lots of talent.
On the other end, Abrasimova driving on Roberts and has it stolen by Pinachero. So a good defense by the Lady Monarchs.
I think in this second half, for both teams, they're going to have to continue to look for different players to step up until they open things up for both Nyree Roberts on Old Dominion side and Nikisha Sales for Connecticut.
Connecticut seemed a little bit rattled in the early going in the second half, but your program, Rebecca, used to big games like this.
Yeah, they are used to big games, but they're not used to close games, at least not yet this year. So, but it's always nice to have 16,000 plus people cheering you on.
Abrasimova, look at the court sense, but it's going to remain Old Dominion's ball as she battles with Mary Andrade. You're not getting getting paid for this, you know. This is a freebie. You're hanging out in the stands. So
let me tell you something else. I'm not getting in the picture either, okay? So, come on, big
I should get paid just for having to sit next to Mimi for a few minutes over here.
Who has to wait to the NCAA tournament for this kind of barbing between you two? The turnover is going to be Connecticut's ball. Paige Sauer to Abrasamova. Nairi Roberts kicks it.
Boy, that's a big play by Nairi Roberts, too, because had that pass hit the mark, that would have been a big bucket, transition bucket, would have really gotten the crowd going.
The crowd is still on its feet because Connecticut has not scored here in the second half. And the tradition is you don't sit down until they score. Paige Sauer puts them in their seats.
That's a classic pick and roll.
Diaz being guarded by Sales.
All of a sudden, they're taking away the offensive opportunities by Diaz.
Across, Rita Williams with a steal. Abrasamova.
Boy, she loves that leaner, doesn't she?
It's hard to believe she's just 17 years old.
17 and a half, Robin.
Keep forgetting.
We talked about the offensive execution of Connecticut, and I'll tell you, it doesn't get any more basic than this. We're talking about a give and go, and then the pick set by Paige Sauer with the extra push. But look at the way she rolls to the basket. So many players either roll the wrong way or don't roll at all, and don't take advantage of that opportunity. Paige Sauer just having an outstanding game, mostly defensively today.
Abrasamova going out. She has some, apparently has nicked herself and has a bit of blood, and the new NCAA rules, you cannot be in the game if you have been injured and there is blood on you of any sort. So Kelly Hunt coming in. Evelyn off the mark for three. Sales comes away with it. Inside to Paige Sauer.
Paige Sauer, once again, Nikisha Sales not even really touching the ball much offensively. So now a different player stepping up to take the load.
Sauer now has 9. Mary Andrade and Amy Duran tied up. The possession arrow in favor of Old Dominion.
Checking back in for Old Dominion.
Once again, offensive execution. How many times do we need to say it? Maybe that's Kelly Hunt's secret weapon that she was talking about, Robin. Paige Sauer underneath. Good roll to the basket. She rolled off of her defender. Got the right hand up, leading her way to the basket.
Good pass to Pinachero to Diaz, but in and out. Was halfway home, but came back out. Nikisha Sales with the miss. Paige Sauer looking for her shot. Good defense there by Nairi Roberts. Traveling is the call on Nikisha Sales. Well, you know how 16,000 feel about that.
And one. 16,001.
She was dribbling the ball.
You're not biased at all.
The voice has spoken. Actually, Rebecca, I do think she was dribbling the ball, so I'm not understanding that call myself.
Diaz the miss. Long range. Amber Eller-Paul. That quiets the crowd a little bit. Still ODU down by 2. Sales along the baseline. Draws the foul.
You know, that's actually not a bad foul for Nairi Roberts, because as soon as Nikisha Sales gets on track, this crowd's going to explode. She's trying to create things for herself, so why not use one of your fouls to create her from getting an easy bucket on the baseline?
The third foul by Roberts. Nikisha. Rebecca, that would be. If you're like Nikisha and you're a little bit out of sync, you're not scoring, how do you get back into the flow of the game?
Well, one way is exactly what she's doing right now, just get to the free throw line or try to get some offensive rebound and putbacks, because Nikisha's the type of player who likes to get on a roll. She can be streaky, so this is exactly what she wants right here, to get to the free throw line.
My girl Rebecca has never been out of sync, Robin.
It's early yet. Wait until March. Sales now has 6 points in the game.
Good move by Coach Gino Auriemma to throw some full court pressure, really keep Old Dominion thinking about it.
Diaz gets the bounce that time. 13 points for Natalie Diaz. Brasimova has it stolen. Pinachero draws a foul on Sales.
Wow. That's a touch foul.
Have a timeout. Connecticut leading by 2, and Rebecca Lobo will let you get back in the stands and really enjoy the game. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks very much, Robin and Mimi.
We'll see you soon. But come on back, everyone. Exciting action straight ahead. Motivated, and it made her realize just there's still some problems that we have to overcome, but we're trying to see the silver lining in it. Both her parents are educators. The miss by Eller Paul.
Mary Andrade getting a little too aggressive on the offensive boards. And now Old Dominion throwing a little bit of pressure, really just not necessarily to create the steal as much as just to contain and slow them down, get Connecticut out of sync.
Good pass from Sauer to Brasimova.
We talked about this team being a good passing team, and one of the marks of a really good team is when your post players are good passers, and Paige Sauer is becoming that. Gino Auriemma would like to see more consistency from her, but tonight, or this afternoon rather, she's really showing some great passing skills.
Tisha Pinachero knocks down the 3. She averages almost 11 a game, but no more for her passing, almost 7 assists a game. Keisha off the mark, Sales, but Brasimova is there for the putback.
Boy, some days you can tell Nikisha Sales is frustrated because everything is short. It's all hitting the front of the rim. And Brasimova is just on her game because it doesn't matter what she's throwing up, it just gets the roll.
She has 16 points and 8 rebounds, Brasimova does. 3-point advantage for Connecticut. Mary Andrade overpaid Sauer. Good post move there by Andrade. Nairi Roberts is there to clean up, and she gets the foul as well.
That was an example of Roberts' strength for her to be able to pull that offensive board down and then go up with it strong. Again, frustration on the face of Nairi Roberts. Mary Andrade actually had the shot right away, but she's not a set shooter. She really likes to shoot off the move or go right to the basket. And so she tried to create an opportunity to do that. Fortunately, Roberts was on the board for her.
It's the second foul on Brasimova, but the miss by Nairi Roberts. Still a 1-point advantage for Connecticut. Sales turns it over to Eller Paul.
Credit Mary Andrade with that play by taking the baseline away from Sales.
It's going to remain Old Dominion's ball.
Connecticut staying in the player-to-player defense.
Eller Paul is going to be called for the foul. Rita Williams doing a good job of getting position. That's Eller Paul's second foul.
What a great sign for Connecticut, though, Robin. Nikisha Sales well under her average, and yet this team playing strong, showing a lot of poise in a game of this magnitude with their leading scorer sitting on the bench right now.
Kelly Hunt coming in place of Nikisha Sales. And Hunt is fouled. Tisha Pinachero called for the foul.
Old Dominion right now just letting the passes get to their targets too easily. They've got to get more aggressive in the passing lanes to get a hand on it. Not let Connecticut get the ball into the hands, especially of the post players.
Her first personal foul, team 4.
Just the first foul on Tisha Pinachero. Duran finally gets it in. Stolen by Diaz. Only Rita Williams to beat. She somehow gets it to go down.
Just some days it's your day, you know?
15 points now for Diaz. Old Dominion with the 1-point lead. Inside to Paige Sauer, who did a good job of getting the ball up and drawing the foul.
Natalie Diaz, just a role player last year, has increased her offensive production this year, but in today's game, she's a superstar for this Old Dominion team. Last year averaged just over 2 points a game, averaging over 6 points a game this year, and just an outstanding offensive performance so far in this game.
Again, has 15 points in this game so far. Sauer makes the first of two, a 64% free throw shooter as Latoya Small checks in her first action here in the second half, giving Diaz, I'm sure, a much-needed breather.
Paige Sauer from Midwest City, Oklahoma, has a twin brother, Bryce, who doesn't play basketball.
Sauer makes both.
Take your warm-up jacket off, Stacey.
She's so excited to be in. She slightly sprained her ankle in the first half, was in a lot of pain. We weren't sure if we were going to see her at all in the second half, but just, again, a slight ankle sprain. Well, she was excited. I get to play.
She's focused. Didn't even know she had a warm-up on. That's some serious concentration.
See, she's wearing a bandage now on her ankle.
Boy, Old Dominion really out of sync in their half-court offense. I think if they want to open things up in this game, they're going to have to find some way to create some transition offense. You had a shot there of Stacey Hansmeyer's bandage right or left ankle rather.
Tisha Pinachero is going to be called for the foul.
Pinachero recognizing that she's got to start creating things with the defense. Just a little too aggressive that time.
And that is her third foul. Big Monday. The Connecticut women playing now. The Connecticut men playing on Big Monday, presented by Bud Light. They'll take on St. John's of the Big East. Kansas and Missouri come your way at 7:30. Then a little midnight madness out west. TCU and Hawaii. All tonight, Big Monday on ESPN. Lakeisha Sales back in. Hansmeyer gets it out to Duran.
Credit the defense of Old Dominion for not giving Nikisha Sales many looks.
Look at Stacey Hansmeyer with the sprained ankle.
And I'll tell you,
that kind of elevation and not coming down.
And Old Dominion focused on the fact that they needed to keep Hansmeyer off of the offensive boards because she's a master at the putbacks.
Leads the team in rebounding with 6. A lot of those offensive rebounds. A 3-point advantage for Connecticut. Mary Andrade. She is the emotional leader of this team, drawing the foul and the basket.
Stacey Hansmeyer does a really nice job of positioning herself for the offensive boards, and that's one of the reasons why she's so effective there. And you can see she understood she had no chance of being able to come down and put that shot back up. On the other end, Mary Andrade doing a nice job of creating for herself with the backdoor cut, and then imploring her teammates to get fired up along with her.
I don't know if that was English or Portuguese, but that was good.
Can't read lips.
Lakeisha Sales, that was her 4th foul, so she goes back out.
Mary Andrade 9 points away now from the 1,000-point mark.
You are in the know.
Well, I knew that she needed 22, and she has 13.
You learn math over the summer. 51 all. Abrasimova from the baseline.
See,
Gets the shooter's bounce.
How many times has that ball been on that rim bouncing around for her?
Wow. 18 points now for Abrasimova.
Last time I saw something like that was Nikisha Sales' performance against Stanford when everything she threw up went in.
She had 46 in that game. Pinachero almost turns it over. Diaz.
Oh. Okay.
She is in the zone. 17 points for Diaz. And the quick steal by Mary Andrade on the other end.
Mary Andrade clearly recognizes that that's what they've got to do to break ahead in this game. this going back and forth. This is not the game that Old Dominion plays. They play in spurts. And Connecticut, rather, has done a nice job of preventing that. But in the half court, it's been Natalie Diaz who has really stepped up.
But a heads-up play right after that by Andrade.
Exactly.
Steal the inbounds pass and draw the foul. And hits the first of two. This is the fourth-ranked team, or actually the fifth. They're 4-0 against ranked teams this year. Old Dominion is, with 3 of those victories coming away and coming on the road. So they're not intimidated about playing in this kind of environment. We've got a great game, folks. Come on back. All tied. Actually, ODU by 2. Here at the Hartford Civic Center, 16,294, a sellout for this matchup between Old Dominion and Connecticut. As we said in the opener, the Huskies used to playing in front of large crowds like this at the beginning of the month at Tennessee. Look at this. Over 25,500 on hand to see Connecticut and Tennessee. Pat Summitt's husband and little son enjoyed the victory over Connecticut. And in February, we'll return to Knoxville, Tennessee. And this could be the way it is, number 1 versus number 2 on ESPN2, Saturday, February 7th. So I can't wait for that matchup.
And Robin, we're expecting every single one of those people to come on back and watch that game. They actually turned away over 800 people at the gate. Tennessee leading the nation in attendance, especially bolstered by that 25,000 crowd, averaging over 13,000 a game. Connecticut number 2, averaging over 9,500 a game. Last year, it was Connecticut that led the nation with 10,300 a game.
It's wonderful being here at the Civic Center, but there's something special about Gamble Pavilion
that
they
place
play at home.
rocks.
Took some time to get it across. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Amy Duran gets her own miss, reloads! Howard gets the bounce this time. And then now we have another injury. Mary Andrade.
A clothesline.
You see her grabbing her throat. Those of us who play the game, we know that happens, and boy, just takes the wind out of you for a moment.
I'll tell you the other nice thing. This is a real smart move on Andrade's part, not only to catch her breath and to recover from that injury, but it also gives the team an opportunity to catch their breath. We talked about the pace of this game and the physicalness of this game, and you can see Andrade positioning herself, and she's going to take an elbow from Hansmeyer. Now that was some kind of push.
Yeah, she got away with that one.
Stacey Hansmeyer's got that left forearm going today.
She's very physical. Inside to Roberts, who's been quiet here in the second half. Pinachero backs out. 10 seconds.
Excuse me, Robin, you notice how they back off of Pinachero when she's outside. That's the game plan.
Good pass from Andrade to Latoya Small. ODU back on top by 1. It's been a seesaw battle throughout. And a foul on Connecticut. It's on Stacey Hansmeyer. That's her second foul. And a bonus situation with just under 10 to go. And she'll go out. And Nikisha Sales coming in with 4 fouls.
Just to reset the foul situation, Old Dominion has 4 of their 5 starters with 3 fouls apiece, and Amber Eller-Paul with 2. Otherwise, there isn't anybody in trouble. For Connecticut, you mentioned 4 fouls. For Sales, no one else with more than 2.
And Mary Andrade will go to the line, but bonus situation from here on out, so almost the last 10 minutes of the game. Every foul, they'll go to the line, the Lady Monarchs.
We talked about free throw shooting, though, not being one of the strengths of this Old Dominion team, shooting 64% from the line. These are going to be critical. They're going to need to do better than their normal percentage.
Andrade's a 71% free throw shooter, so one of the better free throw shooters on the team as she makes them both. A 3-point advantage now for Wendy Larry's team. The trademark towel on the shoulder for Wendy Larry. Seems to be a dispute on the floor.
Again, it's a situation where there might be blood on the uniform.
Even if there's blood on the uniform, you cannot play. If it is saturated, necessary precautions. Pressure by Old Dominion in the backcourt. Easily broken by the Huskies. Smart there by Nikisha Sales. It's definitely ODU's ball. Connecticut's ball. But you saw it was flying past her and decided not to go for it. It was clearly deflected by ODU.
The officials not being good sight lines. Two of the officials. The third, John Morningstar, did have a good eye on the situation.
Quickly, had to get it in there. It was a 5-second count. Again, Old Dominion by 3. Offensive foul on Abrasamova.
And I'll tell you, Latoya Small has done a nice job when she's been in defensively. And also looking for her offensive opportunities. Another role player for this Old Dominion team, stepping up when needed.
The third foul by Abrasamova. As Small goes out.
Aubrey Eblin in for Old Dominion. In a half-court situation, she is the three-point threat.
Her nickname is the Bomber, the Mad Bomber, so that gives you some indication that she'll let fly.
But she also has Nikisha Sales on her at 6 foot. I don't know how many shots she's going to be able to get over since she's only 5'7".
The deflection by Sales, that will remain Old Dominion's ball. With 16 seconds on the shot clock. Seconds on the shot clock. Eblin to Andrade with 5 on the shot clock. Puts it up, draws nothing. Here come the Huskies. Down by 3. Good defense by ODU.
Continuing in the player-to-player pressure, not quite as intense as it was earlier in this half.
8 seconds on the shot clock for Rita Williams. And she knocks down the 3. Tying the game at 59 all.
Tremendous example of offensive patience in that possession, Robin. Exactly what they needed to do is just take their time, move the ball, make the defense work, and then capitalize.
And the turnover by Old Dominion, and Wendy Larry wants a 20-second timeout. So we'll keep it here.
Smart move by Coach Wendy Larry, because in a situation like this, with this kind of a crowd in a hostile environment, even though you're tied at 59 with 8:30 to go, you don't want to give them any opportunity to make any kind of run. You've got to stay on top of this team until you get to put a run together yourself.
It sounds like more than 16,000 are in here now.
Look at the nice way that they just look for one another, not forcing anything. Nikisha Sales looking for a little penetration, not there. Amy Duran passes it out. The really good thing about Rita Williams this year is she has become an offensive threat. When you just are out there as a passer, you allow the defense to cheat. They cheat off of you. They're able to double on other people. But Rita Williams has really grown and done a tremendous job as the floor general for this Connecticut team.
She averages almost 10 points a game this year. Nice bounce pass to Nikisha Sales from Amy Duran. They regain the lead.
Important for Old Dominion at this point, not only to quiet the crowd, but also to utilize that timeout that they had to get a basket, capitalize. Bad turnover there.
Right to Rita Williams. Lucky break there for the Huskies. It's going to be their ball when we come back. And Connecticut leading by 2, under 8 to go in this game. Old Dominion by 2, 61-59. How did it get that way? We'll take a look at the Chrysler storyline in Connecticut, even better than its nation-leading field goal percentage.
And they're normally averaging about 51%. Today shooting 63% again because of some of the offensive patience and execution that we saw in their last few possessions. Old Dominion not doing bad themselves though, Robin. They're shooting well above their field goal percentage. Normally shooting about 44% from the field.
Again, Natalie Diaz, 17 points. Svetlana Abrasimova with 18. And yes, they love their Huskies here in the state of Connecticut. Perfect inbounds pass to Paige Sauer, but too hard. Wow.
Now, in the half-court offense, which is what Connecticut has forced them into for most of this game, Old Dominion has got to get some kind of flow, some kind of continuity going.
Diaz putting up a prayer, not answered this time. Mary Andrade to Small, who has partially blocked, but Nairi Roberts, so good offensive possession there by a very active ODU team.
And as long as you're going to be that active on the offensive boards, you can throw up prayers like Natalie Diaz just to get things going for you.
And then Sales with 4 fouls. Knocks it down. She now has 10.
And Nikisha Sales starting to come back to form. You've seen Abrasimova really shine this game, and she has been relatively silent in the last couple of minutes.
You saw her dad and her grandmother very pleased to see her in the game. The deflection by Rita Williams.
Not only is Paige Sauer doing a nice job on Nairi Roberts, but then all of the perimeter players are doing a good job of clogging the passing lane, so Roberts has no outlets once they take away her move.
Latoya Small going out, and Aubrey Eblin coming in her place. Again, she is a three-point threat, Eblin is.
Latoya Small, we talked about the defensive job she was doing on Abrasimova. Now with Eblin, and let's see how the defensive assignments change, and if Abrasimova might be able to operate better if Eblin, in fact, is guarding her, because there's a great height differential there.
Tisha Pinachero will go to the line. Rita Williams called for her third foul. Pinachero will go to the line, a 57% free throw shooter. In and out. A break there for Connecticut. Not the kind of pass you'd want from Paige Sauer. Diaz does a good job of keeping control.
Yeah, I was going to say the kind of hustle you want to see from Natalie Diaz.
Mary Andrade draws the foul on Paige Sauer.
Mary Andrade, the real emotional leader of this team. Sometimes her emotions, like what we saw in last year's NCAA tournament, can sometimes harm the team. But today, it has really fired them up. She's done a good job of moving herself. She's all alone. She moves to the basket, but she's got to finish that. She's got to connect.
3 fouls now on Paige Sauer. She makes the first of 2.
Checking back in for Old Dominion, number 4, Amber Eller-Paul.
Amber Eller-Paul coming back in for Eblin.
You saw the kind of pressure that Connecticut was throwing at Old Dominion because there was a missed assignment. There was rotation there, and that's what freed Mary Andrade to take a wide open layup. But again, you can't let those opportunities pass you by, not in a game like this.
She makes both. She has 19. Rita Williams left alone. Not the kind of shot Gina Auriemma would want from Rita Williams. But still a foul on ODU.
Look at Abrasimova calling for the ball. She was such a factor. There's nobody close to her. You wonder why the passer wasn't able to see her. She's been such a factor in this game and so hot from the field.
And that is the 4th foul. Actually, the 4th foul on Tisha Pinachero. Williams makes the first of 2. So 4 fouls on Tisha Pinachero, 4 fouls on Nikisha Sales of Connecticut. Nairi Roberts with the miss, with the rebound from the miss. Ill-advised there by Diaz that time.
not bad to try to create something, but you need some rebounders around them to be effective.
Big basket by Abrasamova. She now has 20 to go along with 10 rebounds.
With Latoya Small out, they've got smaller players guarding Abrasamova.
And Nairi Roberts draws the foul on Paige Sauer. That's 4 on Paige Sauer.
Connecticut foul number 41, Paige Sauer. Her fourth personal foul.
She's saying, what's wrong with that?
Abrasamova, the last possession, we saw that she was wide open and never got her hands on the ball. This time, she's not going to pass because she's wide open. She's going to shoot it. It's just one of those days. I mean, when you know that you're hitting, you need to take shots like that. And she had rebounders.
Roberts, a 52% free throw shooter, making the first of 2. She averages over 20 points a game as Sauer goes out. Kelly Hunt comes in her place. Nairi Roberts, 2 of 5 from the line today, 14 points, just below her 20-point average. And over the back is Old Dominion. Natalie Diaz. And that's 4 on Diaz.
Old Dominion foul number 31, Natalie Diaz. Her fourth personal foul.
Paige Sauer on the bench next to Chris Daly. Chris Daly, the associate head coach of the Connecticut team, and she wanted to send a hello out to her mother. She just had surgery, and her father left her home with her aunt, Betty Laughlin. But she wanted to make sure that we had a chance to say hello to her mother, Mary.
Wonderful family. And Nairi Roberts is trying to call the timeout. As we see Chris Daly.
Chris Daly came to Connecticut the same time Coach Oriema did, and has been an instrumental factor in their recruiting as well as on the floor coaching.
Every bit a part of the success of Connecticut.
Oh, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, that's why in '88 she was elevated to the position of associate head coach.
Williams in and out. Kelly Hunt, the offensive rebound out to Nikisha Sales. A big basket by Sales, who has 12 in the game now. And more importantly, gets the crowd in it.
Absolutely. Old Dominion showing not only frustration, but sort of that look of bewilderment right now. They need to find the answer. We have not seen them in the open court much this entire game.
Rita Williams in the open court. A steal in the basket.
And now we need a timeout. Now Old Dominion definitely has to regroup.
With 5:07 left to play, Old Dominion down by 6. Remember, they haven't lost at all this year. City crowd at the Hartford Civic Center enjoying Connecticut's biggest lead of the game by 6. They're number 3 in the country. Old Dominion undefeated at number 2. Of course, Tennessee number 1 in the land. So a matchup between number 2 and number 3, and Mimi, it is living up to its billing.
Unbelievable. We saw 2 undefeated teams in that top 5, Robin. There are actually 4 right now in the country. Utah being another one, and Liberty University. And you know which one of those 4 has the best chance of going undefeated throughout the season? Come on. I bet you're going to guess Tennessee, right?
I would think Tennessee.
Well, yeah, except they have to play Old Dominion still at home. But you know which one? Liberty, because nobody else in the Big South Conference even has a 500 record. So you watch, I'm telling you, come NCAA tournament time.
So you've been getting the faxes from Liberty too, huh? The steal to Rita Williams. Under 5 to go now. A 6-point advantage for Connecticut, so they're going to slow it down and take its time.
Connecticut has really taken Old Dominion out of their strength in this game, and that's the open court. We haven't seen a lot of the creativity of Tisha Penashero, and it's because she hasn't been able to dish off to her teammates in fast break.
7 seconds on the shot clock. So you give it to Abrasamova.
Can you say offensive execution?
Can you say 22 points? Williams with the foul. She points to her head knowing it wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Connecticut foul number.
And that is 4 fouls on Williams.
Her fourth personal foul.
And that is critical. You can see the way Connecticut is passing the ball again in this second half,
And the line for Old Dominion,
showing good offensive patience. But Rita Williams, we talked in the beginning of the game with the excitement on the bench. There won't be a whole lot of excitement if Rita Williams fouls out because it definitely changes the complexion offensively for that team.
Tisha Pinachero, a 57% free throw shooter, misses the first of two. A little too early for either side to be celebrating, even though it's an 8-point advantage. It's largest in the game for Connecticut. Still 4:21 to go in the game.
And Old Dominion has been averaging 30 free throw attempts a game. They're well below that this game, but they're not taking advantage of an opportunity to score when the clock is stopped.
Connecticut on a 9-2 run the last 2 minutes. Thanks in part to Abrasimova, who keeps it going now with 24. A 9-point lead. Small on the baseline to Nairi Roberts. Quick basket for ODU, just what it needed.
This is the point in the game where you really have to dig deep because the pace has been grueling. There's lots of fatigue on both sides, and they're still throwing full court pressure, both teams.
Williams for three in the miss, and Mary Andrade is thrown to the floor. It's going to be against Connecticut. Kelly Hunt. Just her first foul.
Connecticut foul number 34, Kelly Hunt.
And so Mary Andrade, one of the team's better free throw shooters, will go to the line.
If you're Connecticut at this point, this is not what you want to do in a situation on the rebound, is to put Old Dominion on the line, again to score while the clock is stopped, and especially their best free throw shooter.
Checking back in for Old Dominion, number 31.
Paige Sauer coming in for Kelly Hunt. Sauer has 4 fouls. Lakeisha Sales has 4 fouls. Rita Williams has 4 fouls, all for Connecticut.
Mary Andrade at 20 points needs just 2 to go over the 1,000-point mark.
You're all over that.
It's the only fact I remembered.
Mary Andrade from Portugal. Same as Tisha Pinachero, teammates on the Portuguese national team.
And the Old Dominion team had a chance to take an international tour over the holidays. They went away for 14 days, played in France and Portugal, giving both Tisha Pinachero and Mary Andrade a chance to go home and play in front of their home crowd, as well as stay home then for the Christmas holidays.
It had to be thrilling for them. 14 seconds on the shot clock inside, and Lakeisha Sales. Good defense, though, by ODU. Rita Williams hits the big three.
I got to tell you, great job by Rita Williams, but credit Lakeisha Sales. She had a chance to force something there, and she was smart enough to avoid that.
8-point advantage for Connecticut at the ball. Good defense by the Huskies, and Rita Williams said, I'm going to take my time now. 3 minutes left to go, an 8-point advantage for Connecticut.
Tisha Pinachero telling Natalie Diaz to get on Williams tighter because they have got to create something defensively here.
Good touch pass from Amy Duran to Paige Sauer. Rebecca Lobo and Jen Rosati, former Connecticut players in attendance, loving what they're seeing. Just like when they played for Connecticut, this kind of atmosphere. A 10-point advantage, its largest lead.
Nairi Roberts has been frustrated all afternoon because Paige Sauer has done a nice job individually, but also the rest of the defense is clogging the passing lane into her, and then when she does get the ball, dropping and trapping. Has had no opportunities to score on her favorite moves, which is baseline if she's on the left side or into the middle on the right side. Well scouted.
For those of you tuning in for the X Games, we've got an exciting basketball game. I know it was a read. I caught it. But we've got the X Games coming up from Crested Butte, Colorado, right after this matchup between the number 2 team in the land, Old Dominion, and third-ranked Connecticut. A 10-point advantage, 2:44 to go.
Old Dominion spreading the floor now. The problem has been that not enough people have looked for their shots in this game.
Diaz certainly has, but the miss, it's kicked around underneath. Mary Andrade on the baseline. It's going to be Connecticut's ball. But give ODU credit. It's on the floor, scrapping, trying to make something happen. Again, Old Dominion undefeated on the year. The baseball pass ahead to Brasimova. Does a good job of saving it to Sauer. Whoa. When it's going right, it's going right.
What a game. I don't think she's 17 and a half anymore. She's more like 20, 21 by the end of this game.
She knows, like, back the ball. What are you guys doing?
Incredible court sense.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Abrasimova with 2. Oh! How did you know that was going to happen? Abrasimova for 3. She has 27 points.
Old Dominion's got to score quickly.
In and out by Pinachero. Andrade being taken to the floor. Sales with 4 fouls. 4. Gets it back from Rita Williams. Time definitely on the side of Connecticut now. Gino Auriemma wanted the game in the 80s. He got it.
You know, and at halftime it was only in the 30s, Robin, and it didn't look good for his game plan, but they have really turned it on.
Amy Duran for 3. She now has 13. And the celebration is on. 1:10 left to go. 85-69 in favor of Connecticut. And there's just something about this Connecticut team. When there is a game of this importance, they always seem to play well. Come on back for the final 1:10 in a moment. Whew, we need a timeout too.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars, by Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes, and by Aquafresh Whitening, safe to use every day for dazzling whiter teeth.
Connecticut on a 22-6 run the last 5 minutes of this game.
And as you expect, Old Dominion looking for the three-point shot. They've got to close this gap quickly, and they've got to score quickly. So the shot has to go up right away, and they've got to crash the boards if they have any chance of cutting this deficit in the last minute of this game.
And you would imagine that Evelyn would be putting it up. Three-point threat. She's a 92% free throw shooter, so you do not want to foul Aubrey Evelyn, who goes to the line.
At this point, everybody on that Old Dominion team needs to be a three-point specialist. They need to all look for their shot in order to be effective. Evelyn, an excellent free throw shooter, rather, averaging 92% from the line.
So Mary Andrade was 21 points for ODU. And again, she was fouled from beyond the arc, so she gets 3 free throws. We've got the X Games from Cresta Butte, Colorado coming up next. A little bit of everything out there. Evelyn makes all 3. Some more specialists, Toya Small, Amber Eller-Paul, who can put it up in three-point range. And Diaz goes out. And that's all they can do at this point is foul in the backcourt.
And that's what you want to do. You take a second off the clock to create that foul so that there is no additional time needed.
Connecticut especially strong in the second half. And today's game, another indication of that.
And you can see that they really turn it on in the second half, and they've really turned it on recently against Big East opponents. I mentioned earlier that they've beaten their Big East opponents by an average of 47 points the last 4 Big East opponents. And there's such high expectations, Robin. We were talking earlier about how people around the Connecticut area were talking about this was their second big test, that Stanford game was really only a pop quiz.
Sure.
The Tennessee game, the first big test, and this was the second big test.
Diaz off the mark. Long rebound out to Nikisha Sales. She's in no hurry to get down to the other end as she is fouled by Evelyn. And so Nikisha Sales will go to the line.
I'm not sure I would consider Stanford a pop quiz.
I know they're a little bit down this year.
And the way
young
they,
backcourt, but still.
The way Connecticut really executed well. Nikisha's game with 46 points. They just really had the perfect game.
The game we showed you earlier in the year here on ESPN. After a slow start, Lakeisha Sales now with 13, still below her almost 22-point average on the year. 1 of 2. Andrade the rebound. Off the mark is Evelyn. Long rebound again to Sales. Gets it to Paige Sauer.
How great is that when it's your post player filling the lanes for you?
Absolutely, even though you have the game well in hand. Pinachero off the mark. Back out to Mary Andrade, who has it stolen by Lakeisha Sales. And is simply pushed.
Oh, that's
my goodness. Mary Andrade said she was going for the ball, but clearly pushed from behind.
Yeah.
And Sales goes flying over the row of photographers along the baseline. But you can see Mary Andrade and the other players quickly coming over and saying, not meaning to cause any harm. And I don't think she meant for this to happen.
No, and Robin, look, she puts her hand on Sales' back early on. That's where the intentional part comes along. She did go for the ball later, but clearly the intentional part, it was a good call on the referee's part because the hand was on the back and she was pushing all the while.
She was pushing, but not to that. Even you
No,
can see her right there saying, I can't believe I did it that hard.
No, that was not her intent, was not to push Lakeisha Sales into the photographers.
Nonetheless, she did push her.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. It was a push starting at about the half, or rather the foul line.
Number 12, Marcy Glenny. Releasing Rita Williams.
Marcy Glenny getting her first action. She's from Lisbon, Connecticut. As Rita Williams, an excellent job by her.
Gino Auriemma told us yesterday that he was looking for his team to have 15 turnovers, and he felt that if they could take care of the ball like that, that they would win by double figures. Now they've got 22 turnovers, and they're still winning by double figures.
And the celebration on the sideline for Connecticut.
Also for Connecticut.
Again, ODU came into this game undefeated. Once again, the Winter X Games from Crested Butte, Colorado coming up. Abrasamova goes out, 27 points and 11 rebounds for Abrasamova. Sales ending her game with 14. Somehow, that was able to go for Tiana Abulis. She sees limited minutes, and this is when the team really enjoys the players that normally get to get in. They do, and they make something happen like that.
Two things that I think Connecticut has been outstanding with through the years has been their offensive execution, which I've beaten to death throughout this game because they've done such a nice job, but also the chemistry that they exhibit as a team, Robin, and that's not a given. That is not an easy thing as you bring in newcomers every year, and especially newcomers that have to contribute the way that Abrasamova has. Because they all put themselves in the back seat when it comes to team goals rather than individual goals, the chemistry remains consistent through the years.
That it does. As Marcy Zell, one of the, actually just a walk-on, turns the ball over. Final seconds. Way off the mark. The steal by Andrade. And listen to this appreciative Hartford Civic Center crowd. Connecticut has handed Old Dominion its first loss of the year. 93-72 is the final. The X Games are coming up next here on ESPN. For Mimi Griffin, I'm Robin Roberts. Happy Martin Luther King Day, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Take care.
Rita, the steal and the finish. She had a peppy 13 points. Then Svetlana Abrasamova cutting to the hole right there down the right side of the lane. Nice play. UConn by 8 more Huskies. Svet pushes it to Duran, to Paige Sauer. UConn by 10. The star of the day, Svetlana, you saw her right there. 27 points on 12 of 14 shooting. 93-72. Oh, Gino.
And we're making progress. We still got a long way to go. We beat a really good team today, but as I told the kids in the locker room, they're not going away. You know, I'm sure somewhere down the road they'll be hanging around, and we need to just make sure that we build on this, because this was a lot of fun today.
We play against very good team, and we try to do our best to play against them. And I think all team try everything that we can do. We did it.
The men is
layup. UConn goes up 6, and the blowout was on. You see the reaction. UConn fired up. Then Svetlana backdoor your final. 93-72 UConn.
What was the difference the last 5 minutes?
We knew someone had to win the game, and that we wanted to be that team, and we just made big plays. Like each player on our team made a great play.
I love that, you know, and when I know that some days when I can't score 20 or more, and all the rest of the team can get 15 apiece, I think that's a great feeling.
People stepped up and did their part even better than they've done it in the past, and that's what's made us a better team now than we were, let's say, 2-3 weeks ago.
No question, a lot of depth being shown today by the UConn women.